Namaste, angels. I am back as promised to do the actual reading. Thank you again for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's get to it. We're going to start with the this deck, so I'll put these over here for just a moment. Our dice, for anyone who missed that, party. Spirit says party. And of course, we could be celebrating again birthdays, graduations, all kinds of stuff that happens in June. Weddings, engagements. Also sex this week. So that's cool. And email. Starting with the Knight of Water, he is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative, falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. The Knight of Water is a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, someone likened to those traits or attributes. And open to the Ten of Fire, too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that can cause stress-related health concerns. Knight of Water. Major Arcana card, Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Oh. Major Arcana card, Justice, represents the sign of Libra. Knight of Water. And speaking of Libra and air, it is the Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. Knight of Water. I'll do one more. Ooh, it's a good one too. Oh, it's a few. Okay. The Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. And the Dreamer. Both of these cards represent the sign of Gemini for me, as well as the planet Mercury in general. The Dreamer does. And so that can be representative of a Virgo as well. Mercury also the ruler of Virgo. The Knight of Air is, yes, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, is actually the Fool in the traditional tarot, all about a leap of faith. Follow your dreams, because that leads to unexpected opportunities. So a brand new path that some of us will be walking. And an abundant one at that, with Major Arcana card 10, the Wheel, also showing up here, representative of the planet Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, as well as the fixed signs like Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus. A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. Very nice. The Four of Fire, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project. The Four of Fire, or Wands, also showed up in my Gemini new moon reading, by the way. Four of Fire Wands is about commitment, family, home, household matters, but you know, whatever makes you joy, makes your heart just happy and warm. Can be engagements, could be marriages, could be, you know, just deepening a commitment with somebody. Could be about moving, you know, house, or moving in together, you know, like cohabitation and all that kind of stuff. Just really awesome energy. And for the overall energy, Major Arcana card 8, Justice, is back. Again, this represents the planet Venus, which enters Gemini this week. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. This is about balance. It is about equity, fairness, diplomacy. People think that it has to do with, you know, like Libras being particularly upstanding, and that's not really. It's more so about the balance and the equity. Right, the fairness that comes with the energy. Ironically, at least as far as their negative traits, Libras are known for lying and being cheaters. True story, as astrology goes. Negative traits. Crown of the masculine this week is the Two of Earth, talking about balance again. So this already, we're starting off with a similar energy to our overall energy of justice. This too is about balance and about making decisions as they relate to the earthly in our life. So where we're being fair with ourselves and with other people in our lives and with our work and maybe to our employer, so like all work and no play makes, Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl, but you do have to put your fair share of time and effort into your work. And then that means you also got to find time for your family. And maybe that's why the Four of Wands was here for love and stuff like that too. It's about, a healthy balance in all these areas. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. So maybe like a Gemini, right? A mutable sign, somebody lighthearted. Masculine is surrounded by the Nine of Earth. So he may need to decide, this decision may have to do with a business of his own. Like, should he go into it? Should he make some changes? Should he continue working the many hours that he does? Working as many jobs as he does? Should he, remain in a relationship? Maybe it's time for him to be single. This card can represent a person being single for me, or just a need for them to spend time with themselves. Is he doing that? Is he finding balances in his life where he's carving out, time for himself? Okay, I got time for my family. I got time for my job. I got time for what, there's other things. But what about me? That can be what this is too. The Nine of Earth is about enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. And the masculine subconscious is the Two of Fire. So you may be thinking about partnership too. Whether it's romantic or, again, business is also a possibility here. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. Crowning the feminine is the Queen of Air. Very appropriate for this week. There's so much Gemini energy, again, with both rulers at one point being in Gemini this month. Mercury's moving to Cancer on the 4th, but presently it's home in Gemini, and Venus coming home on the 8th to Gemini, and the Sun being here, and the Moon coming here on the 3rd and 4th also, depending upon where one is in the world. The Queen of Air is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, and yes, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Objective decision making. So there's another card about the need to make some sort of decision. Clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. The feminine is surrounded by the Knight of Air. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. And like the Queen of Air, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, this could be a couple. Maybe with one slightly older than the other, or more mature than the other. The Queen of Air, for example, as it relates to the tarot and traditional practice, might be an Aquarius specifically, because the fixed sign is the Queen in traditional practice. And the Knight might be a Gemini. And so maybe they're getting together. Maybe they have some sort of involvement. Or maybe this is one person who is both, like myself, a Gemini sun and an Aquarius moon. Or an Aquarius moon, rather, and a Gemini sun. If it is two people, again, maybe one slightly older than the other. Maybe the female is older, the feminine is older than the masculine, perhaps. I did talk in sort of a prelude that I did to the general reading. I went to start the general reading, and I ended up going into quite a bit of a lot of things that I feel are important. Hopefully you'll agree. But one of the things that I had mentioned there was that this week there could be a particular amount of air sign on air sign, and perhaps Gemini on Gemini action, as well as air and water. Just based on what I was feeling and the cards with which I started the reading. Feminine subconscious. The King of Earth, generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. The king of earth is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, probably a Virgo or a Taurus. Again, with all the Mercury and Venus activity, the transits that they have this week. Mercury is a ruler of Virgo and Venus is a ruler of Taurus. So probably Capricorn last or least in this equation here. But it could be either, and it doesn't have to be an earth sign at all. You know, as a court card, it definitely can be an actual person. But this can just be somebody likened to the traits of an earth sign. Very grounded, very responsible, especially if they're coming through as the king. Crowning. Major Arcana card 12, Awakening with Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's like an air of suspension, hanging in limbo for a moment. It's important to be yourself during this time. It's important to be honest about like what you need, what you want. Very matter of fact, like an air sign. Because that air of suspension, it wears off and then the clock is going to start ticking again and you're going to have to do something. The Knight of Air is another card that can be about decision. Either we need to make a decision or we're awaiting one when the Knight of Air shows up. At the root, foundation, Major Arcana card, Ego. Capricorn said, you're not going to leave me out sitting here next to the King of Earth. I said, least the Capricorn. Now, Capricorn might trump the other two even. Because it's sitting right here next to the King of Earth. Major Arcana card 15 is actually, Ego is actually the devil in the traditional tarot. A false sense of entrapment. Being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. We definitely don't want anybody to allow anybody to hold us, keep us restrained to a partnership in which we don't feel comfortable. Whether that's, again, a business partnership or a romantic partnership. Venus in Gemini will allow us to be more open to looking at things in a different way and maybe saying, fuck the world, like I don't care about your rules and stuff. And considering maybe a relationship between an older person and a younger person, particularly an older female or feminine and a younger masculine or male. That may otherwise be taboo. In Venus and Gemini, it's great. It's a great time to be doing that. You know, because we're sort of not looking at the physicality of things as much as we are, you know, what you do for my soul and my mind. Like, you know, that's what Venus and Gemini is about. At the heart of the matter. The Page of Air is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. He, like the Queen and the Knight, is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Now I'm looking at this 12 again, Major Arcana card, Awakening, or the Hanged Man, which again for me represents the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which it rules. And I started this, well, not this reading, but the rant that I went on prior to the reading, I started it at 12:12, and I felt at that time that there might be something significant about 12 this week. So that may be why this is crowning too. It's Major Arcana card 12, or we can look at it as a 3, or perhaps like in Supreme Math, the 1, the 2, and the 3. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Coming into clarity with all this air that's surrounding us. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Look at the Queen of Air. She's looking into like a crystal ball. That means she's not just relying on her wisdom, but also an understanding into which she's coming, like a universal understanding, a larger, a divine understanding into which she's coming. The Knight, we have him as if he's running away from perhaps the masculine side, right? His horse having taken off, running this way. That may be why this person is left behind single. We're looking at things in a different way. That's what the Hangman is all about. So not just like at face value, but what else they might mean. He might be trying to get out of a relationship, saying like, to heck with this. Now, here in this card, actually, I tend not to mention, but there's actually 2 men in this card. There's not two females on this card. There is two, there's not a male and a female on this card. There are two males on this card. The devil is sitting here next to the two of fire, looking at the two gentlemen. Right, this one is facing the two guys. This could be somebody running away from maybe a traditional relationship. For one that is two men, two females. Or, as whatever one identifies, the L, the B, the T, the Q. Somebody could be running away from a traditional relationship. This could be the woman that's left behind. I'm going to be with the man. And that would be very Venus in Gemini too, because again, it's about sort of breaking with tradition and doing things unconventionally, like doing, just being a genuine person about a connection and not necessarily what's on the face value, what the physicality is, what other people think and all that kind of stuff. The Gemini motto is really, YOLO. you only live once, and we like to know about everything, and we're very, like I said, we're very inquisitive. We like to look into anything. We like to know everything, to ask questions and to learn stuff and to experience different things. That doesn't mean, we're all willing to try everything. Still, this, as the saying goes, not everything is for everybody, but Geminis and air signs in general too. I would say Gemini, Aquarius, Libra in that order, and maybe not even Libra at all. But certainly the other two, with Aquarians being all about humanitarianism and freedom, are, that speaks for itself. Humanitarian and freedom is, YOLO, right? You only live once. Do what you want to do. Be free, live free, enjoy life. And so we could have that, and we could have that being blurted out. We could have that coming. We could have somebody literally coming out, and here's the news of that. I'm going to live with another man. I'm out. I'm going to, I'm leaving you. Or the opposite. We could have the opposite too. Most people don't believe it, and I can't say that I'm not necessarily among them, but, somebody could be saying that they no longer identify as, homosexual, and they're straight now and whatever. But I just feel like that somebody's leaving a situation, and those are just examples. But like I said, typically I don't mention it, but on this day, these two gentlemen, sort of like waving at me, and then the woman right above them, alone. And here, again, we have a decision to make with the Two of Earth. We have a decision to make with the Knight of Air. Now, of course, that's not going to be for everybody. Also, with Justice, it is like about, I think, in relationship to situations like that, and where people are different and deserving of, yet still seeking in 2019 their rights, justice comes into play too. And doesn't have to be, straight versus gay. It could be black and white. It could be, Christian and Jew. It could be whatever the differences are. And, just trying to face up to those this week and, saying, like, I don't care what other people think is a very strong message that's coming through. I'm going to further clarify these, however, with another tarot deck. And you see, again, I'm drawing back to this hangman that says, look at things differently. I just looked at these cards that I use all the time differently and gave, meanings for them that I typically do not. With the other tarot deck, the Animal Tarot rather, this is the Angel Tarot. I am beginning with the King of Winter. So more air, more Mercury, Venus, Gemini. Intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly. Be objective and unemotional and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. Some of us are going to have some sort of legal issue, and maybe, like sort of culminating this week, or perhaps coming to its end. You may have like your last court date or something. But the King of Winter is often a lawyer, a judge. And I'm just looking again at this overall energy of justice with the Angel Tarot. So the two of them together, there could be some people actually dealing with legality. Family court matters, criminal court matters. Somebody may be, again, maybe the male, a masculine. Maybe he had been away and he's returning and he's got to think what he's going to do, or he's leaving somebody behind because the decision was handed down and so he has to go, as in, she's checking in. Yeah, that, again, that's another thing that's fortunately not for everybody, but definitely there could be some issues of that coming up. It's another King of Autumn. So we got one here. And here's another. Compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. So this is saying, like, don't worry about it. Even despite those things that may be going on, there may be some legal issues popping up and things that we have to deal with. There may even be some people saying, I'm ready to be single, or, I'm ready to try a new kind of coupling, a new relationship with somebody else, or whatever it is. But despite all that, things are going to be good. Like, it's for the best. And that's what the Queen of Air is all about, too. The Queen of Swords, Winter, whatever you want to call her. She is about adding things to her life and taking things away from her life. Whatever she aligns. She likes to keep connected to things that match her vibration or are higher than herself, from which she can learn. Because, again, she's super inquisitive, right? So this says that everything's going to turn out great. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that comes your way will be invested wisely. The King of Autumn is, again, a Capricorn. And Capricorn is currently, I didn't mention any transits this week, but it has some ongoing things. It's currently where Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, is located and retrograde, and as is Pluto, Scorpio's ruler. It is stationed in Capricorn and retrograde. So that's one thing that could be coming up. But again, Mercury, ruler of Virgo, also, super active right now, moving into Cancer this week from Gemini, where it's currently located at home. And also Venus, ruler of the sign of Taurus, again, very active this week, and moving into Gemini, which she also rules. So that could definitely be why a King of Winter is opposite a King of Autumn. This is also potentially two males or two masculine energies coming up again. Maybe having some sort of dealings together. Not necessarily romantic, but we're not going to take that off the table. Romantic is possible too. King of Winter. And it's another Hangman or Awakening. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry about if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. So like I said, the Queen of Winter here, Air here, looks like when she's looking into this crystal ball, she looks like she's coming into understanding. And they're saying, all will make sense when you look at things in a different way. Rather than through her, two eyes, she's using her third. And when she does that, that's when she comes into the understanding with the power of 3. And the 6 of Winter. The challenging times are coming to an end, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. So in any situation where we're moving away from difficulty and toward like more truth, more of our true selves, that's definitely moving into calmer, stiller waters and a happier and more peaceful time. And then we have that showing here with the 10 of summer. It's time to express your love and your appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations also may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and or balanced children. 10 of summer. I'll do one more, and it is the ace of summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. And I just thought about something. This is like LGBTQ month. June is like Pride month. That may be why I'm getting all of this too. And there was a rainbow in something I was, look, right here. Boom. So this could be about somebody, again, coming together with family that maybe it's not their blood relatives, which gives additional meaning to Native American too, and that connection and seeking us seeking our heritage and people, tribes to which we belong, that I've been feeling for weeks now, weeks and weeks and weeks, and it keeps showing up every week. Here comes this Native American card. We may have aligned with other people who are not our blood, but because they get us, whatever our difference is. Ten of summer. And major arcana card 16, life experience, or the Tower. Important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So you're not straight, then you need to move in the direction toward your same-sex relationship. If you know you're in the wrong job, the wrong living situation or condition, heterosexual relationship too. You're in the wrong one. It's toxic, right? It's codependent. It's unhealthy. I'm addicted. You're addicted. Whatever the case is, then a new direction is right for you. Move into it. Don't stay stuck with the comfortable and familiar. And that's what came up when I was talking about in the moon reading rather. Gemini. Was it the general? Oh, it was as part of the rant I went on. Yes, where I was reading some of the things having to do with this reading with the general, the Venus in Gemini. I cut already, right? Yes. And just kind of weird feeling about some brothers too. Not that they're incestuous. I don't mean like that. But some sort of weird living situation or a family situation involving two brothers and their single mother. I feel like they're adults. That may be why they have to make a decision or are looking for some balance. Maybe the mother has become codependent upon them and is not letting them be grown men. But our overall energy is major arcana card 10, the Wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. So prior to this, we were on the Tower, which is also a sudden energy that comes in and sweeps you off your feet. As I always say, the Tower isn't always negative. It can be, sometimes positive things sweep us off our feet as well. And if you have not watched my rant that I hadn't intended on going on when I started that reading. It was supposed to be this reading, this general reading, and I started talking about all kinds of stuff, true stuff. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, the truth about divine beings and history and this journey and the interconnectivity of all of those. Please do watch my little rant. I'll put myself on display for the rest of your enjoyment and entertainment. Atop the 2 of Earth, 10 of Winter. The end of a career path, project, relationship brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness. This is what I was talking about. Relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. It's worth it to leave the comfort and familiarity behind for, peace instead. So yeah, there will be some mixed feelings because it can be difficult to transition into a new space and leave. I mean, change scares people, right? Most people have a fear of change, but we have to leave these things that are no longer befitting of us or our soul's vibration in the past. Atop the 9 of Earth. And what might be us doing well or might be us single or representative of a single woman is another 2 of Earth. So again, very important that we make this decision here. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of all the fun that bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. So again, like I said, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl. Make sure you make time for relationships, particularly the relationship you have with yourself, but other relationships with other people as well. Don't be afraid to transition into a new space, whether that is having to do with your career, your romantic life, your familial life, your friends. Don't hesitate to move in directions you know are right for you, like that card said. Atop the 2 of Fire, 2 of Wands, is the 4 of Autumn. Being cautious about, be cautious about living a life of extremes. Wow, I think right away that said a lot to me in relation to what I've been talking about here. Or seeing things in black and white terms. That says a lot too. I even talked about one might be black, one might be white. There are differences, right? Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. Basically, this is saying to be true to yourself and to lead a balanced and honest, genuine life, not like a fake facade that you put up. And with regard to partnerships as well. So again, whether they're friends, business partners, romantic partners, we're guided to be real. Could have something to do with your job. Usually when the 4 of Autumn shows up, it's about us, being in like a dead-end job. It's something that only pays the bills. As the saying goes, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. Like you don't like it, but you're there for that reason alone. So it's time to think of how can I get into doing something that I do enjoy, where my heart will be. Crowning the feminine, atop the Queen of Swords is Major Arcana card 11, Strength, which represents the sign of Leo. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. Could be something involving a Leo. More importantly, whatever the feminine is encountering as a Queen of Swords, right, in that that sort of energy where she's adding things to her life maybe, or maybe taking things away, cutting people off, cutting things out. You have the strength to face whatever it is comes your way. So even if it is, you are sort of torn and will have both joy and sadness, you have the strength to make it through the situation. Atop the Knight of Air or Swords is the 5 of Winter. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Knight of Air, again, usually somebody who has a decision to make or is awaiting like a decision, an answer. Atop the king of earth in the feminine subconscious is another devil. Major Arcana card 15, ego, which again represents the sign of Capricorn. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. This could definitely be the feminine too caught up with money, maybe staying in a dead-end relationship possibly with another air sign. She's an air sign, or she's got some heavy air maybe, and then he's an air sign also, and or an earth sign, and maybe staying with him because, you know, who's going to pay the rent if I leave? But again, you have the strength to face whatever it is you have to go through, and the universe wants to help you to leave those situations that are toxic for you behind in true Queen of Swords style. Atop the Major Arcana card, the Hanged Man, is Major Arcana card, the Hanged Man. Wow. Can you believe this week with these cards repeating over and over and over? I mean, it happens a lot, but this just seems like more than usual. I'm not sure. And also this 12 coming back at me again. So again, I felt that the 12 was going to mean something significant this week when I saw it on the clock, you know, the 12-12. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. Again, the hangman for me represents the planet Neptune. So it's this dreamy, foggy, head in the clouds. I need to make a decision, but I'm not because I'm too busy, you know, just thinking about stuff happening instead of actually making it happen, you know, that sort of thing. At the root, a top Major Arcana card, the Devil. It won't be another devil because we already did that. It's sitting here next to him. It is the 8 of Summer. So about moving on, moving away from this. Like I said, this guy was running away. Or for some people, it could be moving towards something that's going to be good for them. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. And at the heart of the matter, atop the page of air, is Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment as well. Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit, does represent the sign of Virgo. Again, the other sign that is ruled by Mercury. Here at the heart of the matter, and sitting under 2 hangmans, no less. I think it's definitely about just seeking some sort of inner peace, enlightenment, understanding, higher clarity. You're definitely trying to shine light on a situation that you need a better understanding of, or you need help making a decision, and you're just trying to figure out what the best possible path is. With the 2 hangmans crowning, I want to talk more about the hangman for a second. So, as it relates to general energy, the hangman can be about something of which we need to let go. Something that's an outdated ideology, an outdated thought process. So I'm drawn back again, particularly for the masculine, to this sort of, again, black, white, straight, gay, Christian, Jewish, whatever. There's so many possibilities. But I shouldn't have said particularly for the masculine, because I also talked about over here for the feminine with the possibility of her being older than, her male mate, and who may or may not also be an air sign. Like there may be 2 air signs there, but the fact that they both showed up as air signs in the spread doesn't mean anything more than, a couple turned up in the spread. They don't have to both be air signs. And really, neither has to be. They could just be coming across that way. And it's possible that any sign would, again, right, given this week's energy with both rulers of air sign Gemini, where the sun is also located, where the moon will also be located. So that can just be the effect of that on everybody. And soon, actually, speaking of Mercury again, as it relates to Leo, Mercury will be retrograde in Leo next. like when it goes retrograde again, very soon, it will be in Leo. So that could be another possibility as well. All right, so that was general. Love also can have to do with letting go, again, walking away from something, leaving the old energy behind. But I also feel like the Hangman, again, because it's so much about spirituality and it's sitting here atop the Hermit, that it can be about like a divine union, a twin flame, a soulmate or something, but they need more time. They got some mess to work out. So that's the holdup. That's the limbo. You know, they're sort of holding you at bay because they need time to figure themselves out or figure the situation out before they can move on. Work, I think if it's work, you're just tired of your job. You know, like I said, with the Four of Autumn, work ain't honest, but it pays the bill. You're not really interested in being there, but you're there, and you can change that. You're not stuck. Even though these two devils are here, making it appear that people are stuck, we're not stuck. We have options. You're right. We can choose to move on from something that's not befitting of us. The biggest message is definitely letting go, and it ties into our spirituality too, because it ties into our ideologies big time, and we're holding on to stuff because just that's what we were raised to do. We were raised to be a certain way, to have a certain belief system. Whether or not, even if it doesn't resonate with us now, we're still finding ourselves sort of linked to this and therefore feeling stuck, although we're not. But change is coming, right? Change is coming. So I want to see what past life issue we may be working on this week, or maybe coming to a resolution this week. Was what I was feeling when I started the first video and ended up going on a rant instead too. Again, begin with Native American and opening to Greco-Roman. Native American. Unrequited love. Unrequited love. Male, female. This could definitely have something to do in this lifetime, in this spread right now, this moment, again, with, LGBTQ issues. But when the card shows up, traditionally, normally, typically, it's about like just because you're a man in this life, let's say, that doesn't mean that you were a man, in a past life. You were very possibly a woman if the card is showing up like that, and vice versa. And maybe somebody who's in your life now. In the past, there was a love that wasn't returned, and that's why you guys are feeling stuck now in this lifetime. Unrequited love, and medicine, man or woman. That speaks of healers, which most of us are one way or another, and the arts, right? Even the arts is, a manner of healing. Music is healing. Illustration is healing. So people look at paintings, they feel better. Some people actually, are the painter. That makes them feel better. Or like I said, the homeless man that I mentioned in my moon reading, that was crocheting, that was knitting. That's an art form that appears to make him feel better. So, and it can be healing to other people too, not just the performer. Arts. Trust and faith, and also Greco-Roman again, which I feel is very much connected to Egypt, which is not far off. But I think it keeps popping up because of something having to do with Egypt. Trust and faith. I'm not really, well, I was going to say I'm not really getting anything else, but it did pop into my head, so maybe I am getting something else. In terms of Greco-Roman in Egypt, I was guided yesterday to use my Isis cards. So this is Egypt. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, at one point claimed to be a reincarnation of Isis. Maybe it's all coming up as another aspect of the Native American and the heritage thing in terms of our previous incarnations. I'm not getting a whole message though. If I do, I promise to share. Anyway, transportation, which can have to do with movement and I think positive movement. We've seen the Six of Swords. We see here the Eight of Cups or Summer, which, you know, to me is positive. If we're walking away from something that doesn't resonate with us anymore, that's positive. If we're walking towards something that does, that's positive, you know. So there is no negativity associated with this card, in my opinion. But although there may be, again, mixed feelings of joy and sadness. Overall energy is love life. When this card shows up, it means that one or more of our previous lifetimes is affecting us in the area of love in this lifetime. It also shows up to tell us that a love interest that we may have it's like confirmation that they were part of our life in a past life. That doesn't mean that we were romantic partners. That could have been unrequited love in the previous lifetime, like we just saw the unrequited love card. So it doesn't mean that we were partners then, and doesn't mean that we're meant to necessarily be romantic partners this time, but it does mean that our interest in them and our connection that we feel to them is definitely part of like a higher plan. You know, there's a reason for it. It's a legitimate soul connection. And lastly, from my soul's journey cards, to see with what aspect of the soul's journey each archetype, we'll have to deal this week, or maybe again we'll resolve an issue. Beginning with peace. I'm a being of love, and I release all negative energy. And opening two, indecision. We saw so many cards of indecision, right? Two twos of earth or pentacles. The Knight of Swords with the Five of Winter, which is about, conflict and or being conflicted, right? So this is somebody being really confused and not knowing which direction to go in. I can't think of the others, but there were definitely a lot of cards about decision. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. Peace. Honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Amen. Definitely resonates with what I've been talking about here and being true to you, regardless of what, society or any other rules may or may not, stipulate. Opening to health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. I'll do one more. And of course it's two. The first is self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Again, like the arts. And guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Amen to that. Peace. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So again, we're letting go of something, or there's a need to let go of something, and to be like just thankful for the experience, right? Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, like that sort of thing. Thank you. Next. And yay, the overall energy is abundance. I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Amen to that too. So, with what aspect of the soul's journey will the masculine work this week? And it is his purpose. I've been telling you, I feel we got to, find out what our purpose is or focus on our purpose. I know what I'm here to do. Feminine, what about us? It is trust. I like how we both got these purple cards. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. From the past life oracle, on what past life issue for the masculine work this week, it is food and hunger. This he probably had some sort of like vow of poverty or something. And so he never, or he was just poor or felt lack, maybe specifically in the area of food and hunger. And so he always wanted for something. He always felt lack. And now in this lifetime, he might even be like a hoarder. Like, I need to have all this stuff surrounding me. I got to make sure I always have enough because of that past life. And of course, that's not balance. So again, we need to, focus on balance and not doing this, not living a life of extremes where we're either hoarding everything or giving everything away, but landing somewhere in the middle where it's healthy. For the feminine, what's might be our issue, lessons and blessings. So that's always positive. Again, the experiences that we've been through, which is definitely what the Queen of Swords is all about. She's about learning, using the experiences through which she's been toward, her future and the experiences that she'll, through which she'll go later, and, counting it all as a blessing. From the Angel Tarot to the masculine, the Four of Air, also about making a decision. Is this crazy or what? It's time to rest or take a vacation. Yeah, this can be about recovery too, like getting your strength back, getting your energy back after, a trying time or something. Also, this card calls for you to allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers, right? Going within, like the hermit. Seeking enlightenment first. Maybe prayer, spirituality to help you to make a better decision. Feminine, what about us? It's another Ace of Water. Falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship. Spiritual growth and enhanced intuition. Maybe even a new home. So a new opportunity, a new blessing in our lives coming from somewhere. For the masculine, the Three of Summer. So many threes this week too. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. Masculine, if you get some sort of opportunity to be social, spend some time out with friends, family members, loved ones, even if it's, somebody from your past or whatever, take them up on the opportunity. And if you've just found yourself like constantly giving all your energy to work, again, and no play, then, carve out some time for you to get yourself outdoors too. Among the living, as they say. And feminine for us, it's yet another King of Winter. Intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly. Be objective and unemotional and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. And I'll give you some free one with this card, some free advice. Feminine, this week, it's very important that you say what you mean and mean what you say. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the general weekly reading. I will be back with love. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, subscribing. Any and all ways that you support me, I do appreciate it. Now, for a little trivia question. How many people noticed that you wouldn't have noticed that my camera overheated, but that I had to finish the end, after the first 12 minutes or so, my camera overheated. I had to change cameras, use a different one. But in the meantime, I left with blue nail polish and picked up with purple. in honor of the purple one, whose birthday is also this week, and a soul to which I am deeply connected. Look at all this purple on the table as I talk about this. I was in the middle of a client reading when he passed away. And of course, I did not know that he passed away, but my soul knew something. All of a sudden, I just felt like somebody punched me like in the gut, but like I could feel it on the inside. I turned off that camera. I got up. I don't know, somehow I ended up in my car, driving. And in my car, it was like my stomach was in knots. And I was like, I don't remember my hands being on the wheel. Like the car was driving itself, and I was just like, ah. And then at some point I put on the radio, or I heard the radio, it was already on, and I finally paid attention to what was going on with it. And then they announced that Prince had passed away, and I'm like, oh, that's why I feel like this. Oh my God, it was so horrible. I'll never forget it. I mean, like I said, I don't remember little details. It was like I was not in this state of consciousness. I was definitely in a different state of consciousness. Very surreal and still very sad to me. So rest in peace, Prince Rogers Nelson. His birthday is on the 7th. So that's Friday of this week. All right. I'll be back with love, guys. Namaste.